This new proposal for a uniform day of rest is irreconcilable with America's rich heritage of protecting the religious freedom of all its citizens, regardless of their religious beliefs or non-belief. It represents a dangerous desire to use state power to advance religious objectives. Restricting commercial activities on Sunday also raises serious practical concerns for members of those faiths that do not worship on Sunday, including Seventh-day Adventists and Orthodox Jews. Sunday laws run counter to the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, which preserves religious freedom for all Americans by requiring the government to remain neutral between different religious faiths. Our church leaders in the North American Division and the Union conferences will continue to uphold the banner of truth and religious liberty, firmly opposing this proposal and any similar measures. That's it. The text itself is, of course, politically correct. But personally, I have to say, honestly, that the article from the German press service or the Spectrum contribution processes far more than this brief official statement from a division. On the General Conference website, nothing has been found so far, so the church leadership is currently silent. This short statement somehow lacks the power to properly evaluate this Sunday law effort and place it in the right context. And the right context is decisive here, as I will show shortly. Meanwhile, some Adventist groups or congregations have taken up this topic and informed about it more or less, and that is good. But one of the best-known voices is probably that of Walter Veit. And I refer to this video with the title, Second Beast Rises, Sunday Law on the Horizon. Well, the horizon is more or less far away, and so Martin and Walter sit comfortably in their armchairs in this video and work through the topic in a relaxed way. Walter Veit says at minute 8:24 in the video, quote, "If you take, for example, the parable of the 10 virgins, in the King James Version it says, 'The bridegroom cometh.' The New International Version says, 'He is here.' However, I haven't seen that he is here. But the New International Version seems to believe so. Anyway, he is coming, and his coming is near. So even if I titled the whole thing with here and not near, it actually means that the events leading to his coming are already here." End quote. And here is the point. Jesus is not here yet. One sees the second coming of Jesus somewhere on the horizon, and with this Sunday proposal, a little closer. But in no way is the midnight cry being given, because Dr. Veit quoted from this parable. Not even the General Conference, the church leadership, has woken up yet. What everyone lacks is the context of time, and therefore all fail to give the midnight cry when it should be given. Only those who know when the bridegroom comes, at least day and hour, that is, year and month, can also wake the others. Now, is there anyone on earth who knows God's clocks? Is there anyone who has seen and also proclaimed the sign of his coming? Of course. A man and his small congregation, the prophesied Elijah, and the harpers from Paraguay, with the currently small remnant of the Church of Philadelphia. have tried to awaken Christendom for many years, but especially since the sounding of the Jubilee shofar on October 14, 2024. We are the only ones who not only look at earthly events, but our motto is unlocking revelation with biblical astronomy. We look up and have learned over many years to interpret God's voice from heaven and to bring his speaking into harmony with the right Bible verses. And as you know, God has clocks in the firmament. And if you can read these clocks correctly, then you can also place the events in the right temporal context. And only then can you ultimately give the midnight cry. Only then do the events have power. And we've often said that Jesus, when he was human here on earth, knew many things. Yeah, he knew almost everything. But one thing he didn't know, the time. And when Jesus ascended to heaven, he received the revelation from the Father, which Jesus in turn gave to the angel Gabriel. And Gabriel revealed it to John. So if Jesus only had one question, when? Because he didn't know when he would return. And the Father gives him the revelation afterward, then surely the book of Revelation is the answer to Jesus' only question. When, dear Father, may I return? So if you unlock Revelation, one thing comes out above all else: a date. Or let's say day and hour. A year, in our case, the 70th Jubilee year, and a month within the 70th Jubilee year. Do you understand how important it is to decipher Revelation? Yes, many Christians need the gospel, the milk message. That is what saves. But Revelation must also be deciphered so that Jesus does not come like a thief for them. But day and hour are known because they are watching. Since 3i Atlas was discovered officially on July 1st, 2025, we have produced one video after another, proclaiming that Jesus has thrown the censer from Revelation 8 and is on his way, as hinted at in this title image. One video was even called the Midnight Cry. We have presented the core dates of 3i Atlas, especially December 19, as the closest point to Earth, and as a maximum, March 16, 2026, when 3i Atlas reaches Jupiter, the king planet. All this is within the 70th Jubilee year. Especially Brother John's latest videos nail down this last date particularly firmly. And so we have so far proclaimed the day of the second coming, that is, the 70th Jubilee year, with our videos. And in detail, we have increasingly worked out the hour, that is, the month of the second coming, within the Jubilee year. And of course, 3i Atlas helps us with that. Avi Loeb, Silke, Stefan Burns, and many others know very well that 3i Atlas is not a normal comet, but something living, or rather something technical, something that is consciously controlled. Here is the title image again, with a small hint. Do you see it? It's right here. It should be nothing new for those who have watched our videos so far. Jesus is coming with three-eye Atlas. Again, I know of no one in the whole world who proclaims that Jesus is coming with three-eye Atlas, or that three-eye Atlas indicates the arrival of Jesus. And because we were able to discover the censer in the firmament, one can place the current events in the right temporal context. Certainly, we've had to make improvements here and there, but for us, the second coming of Jesus is not somewhere on the horizon, but within the 70th Jubilee year, and fixed by the path of three-eye Atlas, as Brother John has impressively shown in his last videos. Yes, even the last hour at the end of the Jubilee year is already known to all those who have watched our videos. This and the next video are intended once again to serve the purpose of waking the virgins who still sleep, so that it's finally understood. The bridegroom cometh. Yes, he's already here. And so that this video gains even more power, let's first conclude the Sunday law topic. What does heaven say about the mark of the beast? Let's look at this short clip from the video, The Last Car, which was recorded on November 29 and published on December 5, 2025. Look at the date when heaven pointed to a seal forming.
So, I see a mark on a beast. Can you see it too? What we believe to be already the end of Satan is indeed that Satan strikes back. And we have now this last act of the drama. All of a sudden we have the mark of the beast test. All of a sudden we have jail for those that keep the Sabbath. All of a sudden the saints are brought to the guillotines, because we have a verse in Revelation that speaks about many decapitated in that time. Concentration camps. The plagues are falling. When we do away, I said that in the last sermon already, when we do away these fanatics there, they brought the plagues over us. When we do away with them, when we kill them off, then the plagues will be stopped. Here, that's the mark of the beast test. Sunday against Sabbath.
One cannot predict such events unless heaven shows it and confirms it. And now compare this utterly powerless 4-paragraph short statement of the Adventists' North American Division with the sign in heaven, where a striking and unmistakable mark is pressed onto the forehead of the beast, Capricornus. And who predicted it beforehand? It was Elijah, whom only a small flock recognized and learned from. And because neither the Adventist Church nor other churches or denominations wanted to look up and learn God's voice from heaven in Elijah's modern prophetic school, they cannot sound the midnight cry. They do not know God's clocks. But this mark in the firmament gives the power, because revelation must be deciphered in connection with the heavens. And with that,